I know a lot of gamers out there don't have much patience. At least that's what Bishop, the dude at the video store, said. So I'm at the register, and then I realized I got no money. I was seriously broke. Why? Because I met this smoking hot chick last night at the deathmatch bar. Man, she smelled good. So being the gentleman I am, I bought her a drink. Anywho, I decided to get a job. The gig? Assassinate the Drifter. So I went where I was supposed to and waited for the guy to show up. And there he was. This cat, well-dressed, cool, couldn't tell if he was the shit or just plain old shit. Yeah, so he's styling, fast, aggressive, and packing heat. Bada bing. Or at least it was supposed to be. Till she showed up. Her name? Sylvia Crystal, an agent with this whatchamacallit association.
Congratulations. You are certified as the 11th best Hitman. How about getting rid of the 10 killers above you and aim for the top?
I want to be #1. How's that? Short and simple enough for you? It's gonna be a long, hard road. But who knows? Could kick ass. Could be dangerous. Could totally suck. What do you say, bro? Join me. Let's see how far we can take this. And for you there holding the controller right now, just press the A button. Let the bloodshed begin.
No More Heroes is a hack and slash directed by Goichi Suda, or as he's known online, Suda51, and it was developed by the small team at Grasshopper Manufacturer. I had recently fallen in love with the series and decided to do a ranking of each boss once I finished each game. The only game I did not play, which I'll have to say for another video, is Travis Strikes Back No More Heroes. So let's start with the very first game in the series, No More Heroes 1. Number 10.
Welcome to my castle.
So this, like Let's Shake, is technically not a boss, although there is a boss in this segment. The boss isn't actually Darkstar, but rather Travis's half-sister Jean. So yeah, the boss is actually Jean, and it's the second worst in my opinion, but the worst actual playable boss fight. My biggest problem with Jean is that she could dodge most of your attacks all the time. It reminds me a lot of the Shinobu boss fight earlier in the game. However, even though she dodges a lot of your attacks, there are still places for you to attack her. I'm not saying that you should be able to get a 4-hit combo in on Jean, but still, even if you get a perfect dodge on Jean, which slows down time, she could still dodge most of your attacks. That one thing makes it so this fight isn't fun at all. Then Jean makes it so the laser dragon that surrounds the arena gets smaller for each phase, which I think is fine. But her dash attack is such a bitch to dodge. It was for me at the very least. I also did not like her dialogue. I didn't find it that funny. But Jean is still my least favorite actual boss fight in the game. Number 9. My second least favorite boss in the game is Death Metal, who's also the first boss in the game. Now, he is, in all honesty, a pretty good boss. He isn't too hard, but he's also not too easy. Although I do not like it whenever he turns into 3 different clones. That is really annoying. I really like the ending of the fight whenever you cut Death Metal's hands off and he just doesn't scream. That's a pretty cool moment.
Extraordinary. The moment I've been waiting for. The name Holy Sword is now yours.
You're joking, right? I don't care about titles or power. I just want to be #1.
Then master the ways of the assassin.
Here's your ticket to paradise, old man.
Number 8.
Dr. Peace.
Listen to my song.
Dr. Peace is a great fight. The only reason why it's this low is because it is incredibly easy. But that is really the only negative I have with this fight. The conversation shade between Travis and Dr. Peace is great. And the ending is also really good too. And Dr. Peace, just like every boss in this game, shows what could happen to Travis in the future if he continues to be an assassin. Number 7.
Let's see what you're made of, country boy.
Harvey's boss fight is by far probably the easiest fight in the game. The only legitimate problem I have with this fight is whenever this game decides to flip the screen on us and invert the controls. I don't think I've liked a single game that inverted the controls, but that's really the only genuine problem I have with this fight. I do like the moment whenever Travis is picked out of the crowd and he acts incredulous, even though there's only 2 people in the show, Travis and Sylvia. Then there's the ending where there's a ton of applause, even though there's, like I said before, there's only 2 people in the crowd. It's part of this game's weird sense of humor, but I unironically love it. Number 6.
Fuck you, you little prick.
I really like the Speed Buster boss fight, even if I don't know why it's called that. This fight is very creative, as it's not your typical fight in this game where you just hack them till they're dead. Instead, you have to get from A to B by going in houses and ditches in order to avoid Speed Buster's shopping cart laser. Getting to Speed Buster won't be very easy though. If you don't break down a door or go into an alleyway fast enough, then you will have to be forced to button mash and hope that you have enough laser beam sword energy. If you don't have enough, then you'll be severely injured and pushed back a great distance. I don't really have a problem with this per se, but I don't really like it how it is in game. But in order to destroy Speed Buster, what you're supposed to do is you have to knock down an electrical tower, but it doesn't tell you that's what you're supposed to do. Number 5.
Holy Summers.
Still just a fight.
I don't like the Holly Summers boss fight that much, which is why it's at number 5. I myself am very mixed on this fight, as Holly's main gimmick is making holes in the sand. In my opinion, the holes make this fight very unfun, as it constantly breaks up the action. But, despite this fight not being very fun in my opinion, I love the way it affects Travis as a character. After this in this game, and after this in every other game. So yeah, I'm gonna put Holly Summers' fight in number 5. Number 4.
Destroy man.
Come and get some.
My number 4 is Destroy Man. I really like this fight. This has my favorite interaction before a fight. The fight with Destroy Man itself was actually really fun. The only problem I have is Destroy Man will loudly telegraph his attacks, which can get pretty annoying, but that's really about it. Also, I love how the camera shakes whenever he speaks. That's actually pretty funny. Number 3.
You think you're sad, don't ya?
Bad Girl is one of my favorite fights in this entire game. This boss, in my opinion, is very fun. I especially like it whenever she hits her gimps at you, and then you can actually hit her gimps back at her. I had a lot of problems with this fight, but then I had learned that sometimes Bad Girl will take both of her hands off of her bat, and that's when you can attack her. The main reason why I like her so much is because of what is done with her after she's introduced in this game. I'm not gonna say it because of spoiler reasons, but it's really good, and it adds to her character, and it adds to this boss. Number 2.
What's that in your hand? A toy?
Shinobu is my second favorite boss in this game. Now, like Bad Girl, I do think that her showing up in future games does actually help this fight out a lot in terms of quality. But just like every other fight in this game, this fight is actually pretty fun. I like the fact that we're fighting in this school. All the beams make it so it feels very claustrophobic. Like I said in the Jean boss fight, I think that this boss does what Jean wanted to do a lot better, as she can attack very fast and dodge a lot of your moves, but there are still more than a lot of places where you're able to hurt Shinobu. And I like how Travis spares Shinobu. It gives him more humanity, which has never been shown up to this point, really. So, yeah, second favorite fight in the game. This would have been my number one. However, the next fight, the actual final fight in this game, was just a little bit more fun. Number 1. I love this boss fight. Henry is such a hard boss. He's so fast and he hits decently hard too. My biggest problem with this boss is his instant kill skill. Granted, it looks great. The animation's great, so great to the point where I often don't even get mad that I lose to it. But I don't know if it's just me, but it's hard to tell whenever he is using it or not. I'm also not a big fan of his music, Finally We're Cowboys. I don't think it sounds good. It works in the context of the battle, and I think that the remix in the third game is the only good thing about Henry in the third game. Also, I do like how it is easier to do your suplexes on Henry, because I think that the suplexes in general were something that is a great mechanic that wasn't really taken advantage of. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram.